Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today we're reacting to What is the Origin of Human Suffering? Hindu Academy. So I was thinking about this before I started recording, and the only thing I can think of at the moment is outside of just physical pain, being a physical suffering, the loss of something important, whether that be someone or an item, or I guess not getting what you want. That's another thing I just thought of. But I think that's about it. That's the only thing I can think of at the moment. So let's go ahead and give this video a shot. Let's see what Lakhani has to say here. CC on? CC's on.
First of all, you see, how does suffering, because people don't realize, they think of suffering, oh, because I did something wrong. Suffering inherent in creation. It's only people like Buddha who can immediately suss it out and say, focus on this idea of suffering is the main issue humanity faces. We keep saying dharma means, addressing the human condition. Addressing the human condition means recognizing that life is very hurtful, very cankerous and difficult. It's very jagged. And suffering is inherent in creation. You cannot avoid it. Suppose, you say, any living thing, suppose messing around and it gets burnt or killed or being eaten up. I mean, this is part of the creation. This is how the cookie crumbles, if I can use the word language. So, suffering is inherent in a whole living kingdom. Whether it's a plant life, animal life, insect, suffering is inherent. And that is, if you like, this is about why is such a creation? Go and ask God, I would say. But the important thing is this. When this thing called spirit, our essential nature, Brahman, is manifesting as a creation, the physical world, then it becomes more clearly visible as living things, and then it becomes much more clearer as humanity. In the process, it pays a price, if you like, a tax for taking on a physical form. The tax is suffering. You can't avoid it. You see, every time, for example, anytime, suppose you put your finger in the fire, go, ouch, what's happening? It's basically telling you, you want to carry on with your body, pull your finger out. Otherwise, it will be very painful. It gives you a very sharp jolt. So, suffering is inherent in the way things unfold. This is unavoidable. And it's not only just physical suffering, mental suffering is even worse. For humanity, mental suffering is a serious issue because there are so many unfulfilled desires, frustrations, and things. You just can't have any handle on it, and you'll really, destroy your mental health. So this suffering is inherent, inbuilt in creation. Is nothing to do with a God. This is how the cookie crumbles, the only language. And the physical suffering, says my mentor, is the price you pay or the tax you pay for having a body. Is inherent. Old age, disease, death are around the corner. So it is inherent. Since you take on a body, these issues will arise. That's why Buddha left his kingdom. Not to sort out his own suffering, to sort out the suffering of whole of humanity. This is the beautiful teaching. Suffering is a very important thing to explore.
So, from what I gathered, is just suffering is inherent in humans. Very interesting. And he brought up a lot of things that made me think of a little bit more things. So yeah, obviously, the physical suffering, like, you sticking your finger in fire or whatever, is for survival purposes. And this is something that Sadhguru talks about well, I don't know if he talks about it a lot, but I know he talks about it. It's the fact that our five senses is meant for survival. So our ability to feel and feel pain is for survival instincts. So so that's physical suffering. Physical suffering is for survival instinct because you don't want to chop off your finger and like, oh, I don't feel nothing, and you just chop them all off. You chop off one, like, oh my gosh, it hurts, I don't want to do that ever again. Bad idea. But there are people out there actually who will get cut and they won't feel it. They don't feel pain. And you may think, I actually thought of that as like, oh, that's amazing, never feeling pain. But then it's very dangerous because you don't know that your some parts of your body's getting damaged until it's probably too late. Your wrist being bent in such a bad way until your hand snaps off and you didn't realize it until like, oh no, my hand is removed from the arm and I'm bleeding because I didn't feel anything. Emotional, mental suffering, he says inherent. And I guess I was hoping for like kind of a specific answer, and I guess the things that I can only come up with is like, if you're not getting what you want, you'll suffer because you want something and you can't get it. That, in my opinion, is a bit more specific. and also losing something or someone that you care about. You'll suffer because you love that person, you care about that person. Those also being a bit more specific. I never thought about it being inherent. I guess I need a bit more explanation of that. Why is it inherent though, to suffer? Why is it inherent to suffer? I'm trying to think of other gurus and swamis, but I can't think of any, because what most of them explain, from my understanding, is that um, it's the body, it's the mind that suffers, and you yourself do not suffer. You, the Turiya, doesn't suffer. You can witness your emotions, your suffering, and be completely untouched by it. But it doesn't explain where does it come from. And this is the first time, I think, if I remember correctly, of them trying to point out where it originate from, which is inherent. I still need more of an explanation. The specifics that I come up with is reasons why, but why, I guess. I don't know. I'm asking questions. I hope there are answers out there, because I definitely would love to learn. Anyways, that's my reaction to what is the origin of human suffering. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.